Hello again, Kingston Town Administrator Keith Hickey with the latest edition of This Week in Kingston for the week ending May 8th, 2025. For everybody who's celebrating Mother's Day on Sunday, I want to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day. Hope you have a great day and are able to celebrate that day with friends and family. And thank you for everything you do. Over the past week, the Board of Selectmen had their regular Board of Selectmen meeting on Tuesday. Um, the The meeting itself, we unfortunately had another dangerous dog hearing, the second one for a couple of dogs on 44 Rabbith Road. We had a dog hearing back in July of 2024 on these dogs. The owners have come into compliance with uh, installing an enclosure, but that didn't get finished up until about a week and a half ago. So the recommendation from legal counsel was to allow the owners of the dogs to see how they behave, frankly, as owners, and keep the dogs in the enclosure and don't have a risk to others who visit the property for until July 1st. The Board of Selectmen had decided to continue the dog hearing until July 1st. At the July 1st hearing, the board will um, review the activities and any concerns or issues that may have come up between now and July 1st, and either uphold the Board of Selectmen's initial decision that they made to declare these dogs dangerous. And if there unfortunately are other instances where the dogs have been a risk to people visiting the property, the board may need to unfortunately order the dogs humanely put to sleep. It's an awful situation. It's a terrible thing to have to deal with. But as dog officers, this is what the board is responsible for. Hopefully the dog owners will be responsible dog owners for the next couple of months until this hearing, and then moving forward after that. So no further hearings have to be held with the Board of Selectmen to determine the fate of the two Great Danes. Beyond that, it was a fairly normal, unemotional board meeting. Slack Tide Coffee Roasters is coming to Kingston. They're going to be opening up a store at 269 Pembroke Street, which is the former Nino's Deli. For those who may be aware of those, they'll be open from 6 in the morning to 3:30 in the afternoon. We want to welcome Slack Tide Coffee, excuse me, to Kingston. From what I understand, they have a pretty big following in other locations that they have, so we're happy to have them in town. The Streets, Trees, and Parks acting superintendent was supposed to present some roads that we were looking at resurface in 2025. Unfortunately, we had a minor software issue that caused us to cancel that agenda item for 2 weeks. That interim superintendent will be coming forward on May 20th at the board meeting with a number of roads that we're looking to resurface in 2025 with the state funds that we receive, Chapter 90 funds from the state. So we'll publish those the names of the roads. Hopefully yours is on that, and we'll get those roads paved during this summer season. Next, we had a public hearing. The police department came to the Board of Selectmen at their last meeting in April, and we're seeking the board's permission to construct a firearms training shooting range, for lack of a better term, behind the former landfill, the current transfer station, and the current wastewater treatment plant. The police department worked with the assessing department and the planning department to try to identify town-owned pieces of property that would meet the criteria to allow for a shooting range. This property, according to their research, is the only town-owned piece of property that fit the parameters. It will be just over 500 feet from residences. It'll be along the commuter rail line, and we'll be shooting away from, I guess, or north of the wastewater plant or the transfer station. It'll be used sporadically. The police department has to be certified in their uh, gun firing, and twice a year. There'll be some additional training occasionally. You will certainly hear the gunshots um, in certain parts of town near that firing range, but they shouldn't be too significant. The police department's gonna try to work with the public, let everybody know that when the police department's going to be utilizing the range for qualifying, and try to make everybody aware of what's happening. So if they do hear gunfire, they should know why the gunfire is occurring. The board did approve it. We are going to move forward, working with Streets, Trees, and Parks to make some minor changes to the property itself. Remove some scrub, brush, and small trees, things of that nature. I know the police department's excited to get going, so I assume sometime this spring, early summer, that project will be done and the gun range will be operational. We issued a one-day liquor license for Fermentation Brewing LLC for an artisan festival at the Kingston Collection on the 17th of May. We appointed both a COA van driver and an assistant director of elder affairs. So we're excited to have our new Sally Driscoll, our new assistant director of elder affairs. She comes with years of experience in council on aging offices, buildings. So we're excited to have her there. Will really be a significant benefit, I guess, to both Holly as the director and the visitors who go to the senior center. We also received permission from the Board of Selectmen to deem a 25-ish-year-old truck lift at Streets, Trees, and Parks surplus equipment. It no longer will pass inspection. We had approval to buy a new truck lift at our annual town meeting a couple of weeks ago. So we got permission to deem that piece of equipment surplus so we can sell it. And we're able to deem a 2012 Ford F-550 as surplus equipment as well. So those two pieces of equipment will be sold, and the funds will come back to the town. We talked about the annual town meeting results. As I think I mentioned last week, overall town meeting was very successful. We had budgets approved, zoning changes made, a revolving fund for the police department approved. The one thing that was not approved was the creation of a public works department. So there was a discussion over the results of the annual town meeting, and specifically discussing a bit more what our next steps would be. Whether the board wanted to continue to pursue a public works department or remain a Streets, Trees, and Parks with a superintendent. The board seems to be of the opinion they want to bring back a public works department at some point in the future. Some of the comments that were heard during the town meeting were there weren't enough meetings, there wasn't enough involvement of the public, things of that nature. So I think the board is going to take those comments to heart. Try to have some additional meetings, some informational sessions, meeting with the public, meeting with staff in those departments if that's appropriate, and try to provide a better overview on the benefits of having a public works department. So that'll be occurring. What was determined was that the interim Streets, Trees, and Parks superintendent and I would come back to the board at their May 20th meeting. We will have with us a recommendation to temporarily fill the foreman position, temporarily fill potentially the equipment operator position, and promote two current individuals temporarily to the interim foreman and the interim equipment operator position to allow Streets, Trees, and Parks to be fully staffed and provide the support that our current interim superintendent, Sean Turner, needs to be successful over there. So that will come forward again on May 20th, and if the board does support that, we will then advertise those positions consistent with the union contracts, and get those positions filled. So streets and parks will be up and fully staffed. There was an approval of a piece of property that Silver Lake deemed surplus, that was taken, that the town of Kingston took ownership of, to um, facilitate a culvert replacement and stormwater improvement project on Lake Street. So I want to thank the Silver Lake School Committee for their willingness to help us out on a piece of surplus property, and will have minimum impact on the schools by donating that piece of property. And then lastly, the Board of Selectmen appointed our current elected tax collector, whose term expired on May 17th, Ken Moalley, to an interim appointed tax collector. If some of you may recall, a year ago at town meeting, we had a proposal to combine the collector treasurer position and change that from elected positions to an appointed position. Town meeting approved that. State law requires a community to wait until the last term of the elected positions is completed before the position becomes appointed. So the tax collector position, that current term expired on May 17th. The treasurer term expires in May of 2026. So we've appointed Mr. Moalley as interim tax collector for a year. A year from now, the town will go through a advertising, interviewing, and hiring process for a tax collector treasurer, excuse me, and will appoint a treasurer collector in an appointed manner a year from now. So I want to thank Mr. Moalley for his work, and glad he's been willing to step up and do that job. So the board is meeting again on May 20th. It should be a fairly busy agenda. As I mentioned, we have the proposed roads we're gonna propose to upgrade or repave during the summer months. We also are gonna have as I mentioned earlier, the proposal to backfill the existing opening positions on a temporary basis at streets, trees, and parks. And we have our recreation staff, summer recreation staff to appoint as well. The recreation department and Susan Woodworth has completed the interviews for her summer staff. A lot of the people who were here last year are coming back, which is great. We'll get those individuals appointed so she can get started with that program, and we'll move forward. One thing of real importance that I hope people have already marked in their calendars, but if you haven't, just a last reminder, May 17th is our annual town election. We have school committee members, Silver Lake School Committee members, Board of Selectmen members, Planning Board, Board of Assessors, a number of positions that are open and up for re-election, or the positions the incumbents have decided not to run. So I would urge everybody to take some time to go to the Kingston Elementary School and vote from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. For the local elections. It's an important piece of how we operate, and I hope people would take some time to stop down, vote, and support the individuals who you'd like to see sitting in elected seats in the next 3 years. So with that, I want to thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you again next week. Thank you.